Brother Seamus show. I'm your brother Seamus. We got some beats, fresh cooked beats for you today. We got a little bit of homework to do today, but we'll get to that in a minute. I wanted to shout out to one of our fearless technical producers, Zud, as he likes to go by, helped create this filter, and I modified it a little bit. I really like it. You can see my face, and the butterflies, which I've been trying to get into the show more, and they never look good. And now I think they look quite nice. So thanks to Zud for he would use this filter on another program that he works on, and I saw it, and I think I stole his settings and tweaked them a little bit. But anyway, today you get to see the butterflies. They fly wild. They're wild butterflies that live here in Walla Walla, Washington, which is where the Brother Seamus studios are, perched in a cabin on the side of a mountain, broadcasting fictitiously on Q109 FM out of Walla Walla, Washington. I'm just getting over a cold. I thought it was COVID, but it's not, and I don't even want to talk about COVID, so I'm happy that it wasn't, but it still sucked real bad. And I want to help these two butterflies. Sometimes those two get tangled. We got lovely breezes here today in Walla Walla, Washington. But before we go any further and get our today's lesson, let's open the show like we're supposed to with some proper dancing by Bigfoot. Bigfoot is, long story short, there are many different Bigfoots out there, and Bigfoot likes to come over to the Brother Seamus show sometimes and get her groove on. Most Bigfoots don't disclose their gender identification because that's just not how you do it in Bigfoot world. Bigfoot believes mostly that gender identification isn't something that we should be too concerned about. But I digress. Let's see if, okay, that's a okay filter. One of the challenges of doing this show is that I'm the host. It's a variety show, right? And that's kind of what this is, I guess. Never thought I would do a variety show. And here I am on the internet doing a variety show. And I quite enjoy it. So I'm going to change the settings on this filter just to give it a little bit more like feeling like Bigfoot is outside the window. For those of you keeping score at home, I'm using the Luma key to accomplish my goal. 2 layers. It helps to have bright windows, is what I'll say. Almost too bright right now, actually. Let's see if we can. Oh, wrong way. Can we lock down that floor, or is it just going to be too hot? Yeah, okay. Well, there we go. I think that's the best we're going to do. Let's fix those windows, those window bars. Oh, that's right. We'll stay just on this side of going out entirely. So, did I mention this is the Brother Seamus show? It's just kind of a new brand of something I've been working on for a while. I hope you like it. And if you don't like it, then don't call us. Or maybe do call us and tell us why you don't like it in a reasonable way. But until somebody calls, we're going to get our dance beats on here, and then we're going to do our homework, and then we're going to get out of here. We're keeping it short today. I'm trying to be more succinct. But, you know, there's a lot going on this show. The Brother Seamus Show, hosted by yours truly, Brother Seamus. I'm going to get out there and cut a rug, but I want you to know that when I get back, I'm going to drink some hoppy stuff. It's not showing up very well. I'm drinking something by Lagunitas called Hoppy Refresher. And it's kind of a new thing, and it's delicious. They're not paying me to say this, but they could pay me to say this if you subscribe. Help me be famous, please. No, really, I just want everybody to do their homework. I don't care if I'm famous or not. I just talked into my glass thinking it was my microphone. I think we should, I should tell you that being famous sounds kind of fun and funny, but I think it also could be a dangerous pain in your ass. So my hope on this show is that you'll subscribe and you'll share it with other people, but not just for the sake of my celebrity, which I will take with a grain of salt. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Bigfoot. Thank you for the beats. The beats are a joint effort between Bigfoot. Many different Bigfoots contribute to the beats. So we're co-authors, you might say. Well, let's do our homework, I guess guess we'll do our homework. We'll get it right out of the way. I wanted to show you the butterflies today. I hope you're enjoying that. I'll put up the number to call. You can punch that into your smartphones. You can call at any time. It takes me a minute to answer sometimes because I forget that the Google Voice thing has to be on. So it's tricky to run the show and to do the technical part of the show, which I'm doing right now. But if you want to call us, please do. That's what I'm getting at. 509-676-6032. This is meant to be a call-in show where you get to talk to a real-life psychologist. That's me. I'm also an ordained minister. And I do political activism and community activism and media literacy, and I do public access TV stuff. My main mission is to bring people together under an idea that your political affiliation doesn't really define you. In other words, the whole Republican-Democrat thing is kind of bullshit. It's mainly a means. This is my conspiracy theory. It's mainly a means to just keep us at each other's throats so that we don't realize how much we agree on. Because once we realize what we agree on, as Martin Luther King was pointing out, if we agree on that, that gives us the level of political power that you need to actually run the business of Congress. And that's kind of what it's supposed to do. And I'm not going to go way down the wormhole on this today, but the problem, there's a variety of problems. They all kind of fall under the topic of gerrymandering, but with the Senate, what most of you know this probably, but every state gets 2 senators, and it doesn't matter because our forefathers didn't think about it. They didn't know we'd have city or states with 40 million people, like Colorado and Texas. Texas has less than 40 million, but Florida, tens of millions of people in certain states, they only get 2 senators. Wyoming, Alaska, I'm not picking on them, but they have, under, I think the highest is around 600,000 people in Wyoming, something like that. There's a number of states that they get 2 senators. So the people in that state are vastly outnumber the people in big states like Florida, Texas, California. My point is this: the Senate is where it has to happen. I think. It has to happen all over, but the House is a little bit more manageable. And I think we need to focus our energy on the Senate, in my humble opinion. We of course should focus on the House too, but more important than that, more important than strategy, is who am I talking to? Am I talking to Republicans or am I talking to Democrats? It doesn't matter. None of that matters. The question is, do you want gun safety? All right? Let's forget about parties for a minute, because that's how we get tricked, I think, by the super wealthy in many different ways, want to control governments, and there are groups of people and individuals who want to have all the power. And of course, that's not a unique conspiracy theory in any way, shape, or form, but it's up to us to overcome that kind of conspiracy of the super wealthy and hold them accountable. We're not talking about violence here, people. We're not talking about any violence towards any of these folks. But if you're super wealthy, you should pay more in taxes. You should fund things in society so that people aren't living in poverty. We can't have this many billionaires. It doesn't work. It doesn't mean you can't be rich. So what do? We want gun safety. That's what people want. They want gun safety. 90% or more want universal background checks. Let's just start with that. Or red flag laws. It doesn't require that much creativity to think, well, hey, maybe the right thing to do is to get into these states where you've got Republican voters who are locked they're kind of locked in a trap of their own making, where they can't stand up and take a principled vote in favor of gun safety. Common sense gun safety. We're not talking about taking away people's guns. We're talking about applying gun safety. Maybe AR-15s get regulated too. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing kind of thing, but let's not worry about the specifics for a moment. Let's worry about basic gun safety legislation. No one with an R next to their name and a couple with D's or former D's next to their name, they won't take a vote against the gun lobby, even though the vast majority of Americans want them to. And why? Because they're controlled by a very powerful base. And the reason that base is powerful is because they all frickin' vote. And you think you can sit at home and sip on your Lagunitas Hoppy Refresher? You think you can sit at home and you don't have to get in the game? Nah. You got to get. Everybody's got to get in the game. That's what the answer to this is. And I want to try to not be discouraging, but I also feel like it's kind of fun to yell at people on my radio show. I mean, honestly, part of why I developed this radio show is so I could yell at people on the interwebs. But no, I want to preach. I don't want to yell. Sometimes I'm going to yell, but that's not what I'm going for. Ooh, actually, I don't think I yell ever on this show. I might raise my voice a little bit. Parents, if you've got kids watching this show, it is a call-in show, so I don't know what people are going to say. I give a little sermon every day, and then people call in, and they might drop an F-bomb. I might drop an F-bomb, but there's nothing intentionally negative that should adversely affect children. I don't think children will be interested in this show, and they should go outside and play. Wow, something just fell off of my TV monitor, and I think it was an acorn, because I just had a squirrel here living in the studios. I kid you not, a red squirrel. They're all over the place out here in Walla Walla, Washington. She hid black walnuts all over the studio, on tops of things, inside of things. I keep finding them. She just moved out today. I'm going to show you that video at the end of our show, assuming it uploads. I'm going to do one more pass at the sermon because I want to infuse people with a little bit of hope if I can. Maybe I can. Who knows? It's the Brother Seamus Show. I'm waiting for your call. I'm anxiously awaiting your call at 509-676-6032. We'll have a little more Bigfoot dancing coming up. Give us a call. let's take another stab. Let's take another stab at the main point, the main thrust of today. So what I'm suggesting is massive voter mobilization. But where? Where? Great question. And I don't have all the answers, but we'll start with this because it's a work in progress. We'll start with who's up for election in 2024. Are there any R or D, doesn't matter which side they're on, will they vote for gun safety? If you're truly concerned about gun safety, this might be the time to call your R or your D senator. And I know a lot of you don't want to make phone calls, and that's okay. But we have to make them aware that you're going to turn out in such big numbers that it's better for them, because that's all they care about right now is staying in office. So you have to convince them that there are enough of us, and there are enough of us. We're just not mobilized. That's the main point. That'll be on the test. There are plenty of us. The number of people we have right now who, if they voted, we would far outnumber extremists who are blocking gun safety. They're just extremists. Forget about Republican or Democrat. We are killing our children with assault rifles. We are killing our children with assault rifles. We're killing our children with assault rifles. And these senators won't stand up and put a stop to it. We've got 50 senators, give or take. We only need 10. And really, you only need 3 or 4, because if you show that you can put that kind of pressure on a senator in a what might be thought of as a comfortably red state, if we flip a comfortably red state, I'm not suggesting we go crazy. We're going to talk to Steve Kornacki first and figure out which state's the best one to go after. But if you flip a state, you'll scare, one flipped state will scare, I would say, several senators who are too profoundly selfish and cowardly, who won't take a principled stand. We're not talking about taking away your gun rights. We're talking about making it safe. They want to trick you into thinking that some crazy socialists are coming to take your guns. But guess what? I'm the crazy socialist, and I am not interested in taking your guns. I'm interested in preventing school shootings. I'm also interested in the question of, should AR-15s be allowed out in the public ever? Shouldn't you have a specialized license for that? Shouldn't you go to the armory to check out your AR-15? It's still yours. You can take it out anytime you want. If you think the government's coming to take over your farm or something, you can go ahead and get it. I'm not trying to make light of that, but the odds of it happening are slim to none. The point is, we're killing our children with assault rifles, and we only need 10 votes. Even though Kirsten Sinema is a greedy human and a coward, she might be. Same with Joe Manchin. The greedy cowards among us. And then anybody with an R next to their name, right now, they're not going to vote for gun safety. We have to make their non-vote, their lack of action, be a disqualifying move. We have to disqualify them legally, electorally, safely, non-violently, but persistently. So my suggestion is this is not a unique idea. There's a bazillion people thinking about this. We're just not doing it, so let's do it. I know a lot of you like a good rally already. A lot of you in the middle might think, I don't want to go to a political rally. Well, you want to get some shit done, or do you want the children to keep dying? So set aside the Republican Democratic bullshit for a minute, because it's all, I'm just going to tell you this as a psychologist so you understand, sitting on the psychology side of things, Democrat versus Republican, tells you almost nothing about a person other than what kind of, what news channel they're watching. It doesn't tell you about the quality of their character at all. It does however, suggests that certain groups right now might be getting tricked more. That is certainly true. What was I going to show you? I am looking for something. I talk too much, and I try to do technical work while I'm talking. That's part of the Brother Seamus show, people. Hey, let me tell you something. That's part of the show, people. All right, mass motor mobilization. I sound like I have a cold still, because I probably do. Mass voter mobilization. Phone lines are open, people. I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't be calling. Let's make sure the phone line's working.
Oh, this is Cliff from the Kent County Road Commission.
Yes, Cliff.
Thank you for the service that you're doing for free.
Oh, you're very
On the
welcome.
internet, we've got a lot of guys out on the road right now clearing all the ice and snow so people can get home safely. And
Yes.
the free entertainment and spiritual guidance that you're providing the citizens of Kent County is greatly appreciated.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Provide some recognition to all of that.
You're very welcome.
And just want to let you know your YouTube signal is working correctly, and we are receiving it loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Thank you.
Keep up the good work, and God bless you, boys.
Thank you so much. That was our friend over at the Road Commission. He likes to check in when he's working at dispatch sometimes. Mass voter mobilization. Let's see if we skipped anything. This will be on the exam. Where do we begin? How do we begin? What are the details of all of that? I don't know. Let's build this thing. I mean, I'll start building it here. I think people are already building it in other ways, in other places, and maybe we can sort of join our tentacles. One excellent and highly effective approach is mass voter mobilization. That's what I'm suggesting today. And I realize I goof off a lot on this show, but this is, I try to make it distracting and fun. And I want you to know the serious point of mass voter mobilization is a very serious point. I take it seriously, and I hope you will too. Even in states that are mostly opposed to gun safety, mass mobilization of voters focused heavily on the Senate might overtake the vote of the anti-safety voters. There are more people that want background checks in all the states than there are people that don't. It's like a 90-10 split. We can't do it with voter apathy. Everybody's got to get up and vote. If enough people in the middle said, give us gun safety right now, we'd have gun safety right now. Because those senators can smell it. They can smell it when you are closing in on them, and they know when you're about to take them out of office. And that's when they'll be able to let go of being bossed around by extremists. But until you convince them that the danger is greater, that we are a bigger threat than the extremists, then they'll go with us. Because that's how they do things, because they're cowards, people. I just want you to understand that. I don't hate them, but I think we should see them for what they are. And let me just say again and again and again and again, this is a non-violent approach, people. If you use violence of any kind in this quest upon which you have been called, if you use violence, you're out. You are out. You are unconditionally out, except defending yourself. You can defend yourselves. I'm not foolish enough to think that we won't have to defend ourselves. It will get real, people. It will get real. But we stay in the peaceful lane. Nothing wrong with some self-defense, though. We're murdering our children with assault rifles. We're murdering our children with assault rifles. We're murdering our children with assault rifles. We are murdering children with assault rifles. And the only thing that will work right now is mass voter mobilization. I'm suggesting a monthly mobilization. I know we can't get full concentration with a monthly, but if it's nearby, if it's near where you live, you might go. You might go to a rally. I think you might. I think you know that there is something you can do, but it's going to take a big lift, people. It is going to take a biggity big lift. Ain't no joke about that. I'm not trying to be morbid. I'm just saying we are killing our own children with assault rifles. We're killing our children with assault rifles, and we can't get 10 senators to pass gun safety, comprehensive gun safety. You still keep your gun rights. You want an AR-15? Maybe you gotta go check it out at the armory, man. Maybe that's how it's gotta be. Mass voter mobilization across the states, and we'll target certain states more than others, because that's what has to be done. Monthly marches. I think we have to just do it monthly and keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger until there's so much pressure that they give in. I think it's the right time. I think the House will self-correct in 2024. Doesn't mean we shouldn't focus on the House. For you political analysts out there who are getting worried, it doesn't mean we shouldn't focus on the House. We're focusing, though, on mass voter mobilization. I'm going to start one here. I hope you'll start one there. Yeah, maybe I'm naive. Maybe. The young kids coming up are sick of gun violence. They're sick of it, and they're voting, and now is the time to strike. Second Amendment stays intact, but maybe, and I'm not making fun here, I'm being serious. Maybe all you Second Amendment people need to think about, where is the well-regulated militia? You want to scream about constitutional purity? Where's the well-regulated militia? Which means gun safety. It doesn't mean every citizen gets a gun, even. You want to be literalist? Where's the well-regulated militia? The idea that guns should be unregulated in any way is a fraud. It's a fraud that's been used to make money. It's a fraud that's been used to turn us against each other. Nobody's going to take away your guns in this country. Even crazy liberals like me don't support that. We just support gun safety. Those are two different things. Two different things, people. So give us a call on the Brother Seamus Show. Let's see if there's anything else before I let you go. It's been almost 40 minutes. Where do we start? We start with a leaderless mass mobilization march, just like the Women's March. but we continue the gatherings monthly, everywhere we can, and focus constant pressure, however small, but constant pressure on the Senate in the places up for grabs in 2024. Of course, we focus on the House as well, but I think the House will see what's happening with the Senate if this plan works. Mass voter mobilization. We elect only candidates. Forget about R or D. Forget about R and D for a minute. Doesn't matter which party you're in. We'll vote only for candidates who unequivocally support gun safety, common sense gun safety. Nobody's stripping away the Second Amendment. It's a well-regulated militia we're asking for. And that means you got to follow some rules, man. And obviously, let me just say this. If you're not a psychologist, you should know this by now. We can't handle assault rifles. The human race cannot handle assault rifles. We're killing our kids with assault rifles. We can't handle them. We have to regulate them. A mass shooting per week now, I think, is where we're at. Can you believe that we've gone this far? Forget about Republican and Democrat. Forget about it. It's meaningless now. It's drivel. Do you believe in gun safety? Yes or no? Somewhere between 60 and 90% of people want common sense gun safety. And in many of those states, if we had mass mobilization based on that issue, you could force the senator in that state, I believe, Steve Kornacki might prove me wrong, but I believe you can flip those states with enough mass turnout. You got to get in the 90% would be my guess. We rarely ever hit even 70%, I think, in most state elections. Whatever the case, if we don't do it, you're not getting gun safety. You're going to continue to get school shootings. That's probably my closing point, I should say. You're not going to get gun safety ever if you don't show up. And it's got to be big numbers because, in a sense, the country is gerrymandered. The whole country is. Because if Wyoming gets 2 senators and California only gets 2 senators, we're way out of balance here, people. The good news is more Americans want gun safety than don't. They don't agree on everything. But the general idea of gun safety is a winner. So let's mass mobilize then. Right? Easy for me to say, right? The Brother Seamus Show hopes that you will mass mobilize, people. Let's take the seats that are coming up and let's scare the crap out of the people that are in their seats right now. I believe these U.S. senators who won't take a principled stand because they're afraid of extremists are despicable cowards. We must vote them out legally. This is a non-violent operation. You're not to harass them. You're not to call them and say horrible things to them, but you should call them and say, hey, I'm never going to vote for you. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Ever, 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 ever. I'm not going to vote for you if you don't pass gun safety legislation, period, and then hang up the phone, period. Tell them where you live, because if you don't live in Wyoming, it's not going to do any good. Don't try to fake it. We're not unethical dicks on this team. We're not violent and we're not unethical. Vote them out legally. We can do it. Y'all know we can do it. You just got a bad case of learned helplessness. And I think a lot of you young voters are starting to figure it out. You can run the table right now, young voters. You can demand gun safety. You can demand safety for the trans community. You can demand safety for the BIPOC community. You can demand all kinds of healthcare reforms, and you can protect abortion. You can do it all right now, but for the low, low price of flipping the Senate. The Senate's not going anywhere anytime soon, so we have to be more flexible. Yes, it's wrong. Look, let's do a little reality therapy. The Senate is not representational. Some people say they set it up that way out of sort of a subconscious, white male-centric way of thinking. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think they knew the country would grow like this. And I think they'd be the first ones to say, what are you doing? 2 senators in California and 2 in Texas, but Wyoming and Alaska get 2? When they don't even have 1/40th of the population? It makes no sense. They would not support that. Be that as it may, changing the Senate, somehow aligning the Senate and the House so it ends up being maybe one chamber, that's not going to happen for a long time. But you don't need it to happen if you turn out to vote. If you turn out to vote. Sorry, that seemed a little condescending. But you know what I'm saying. I think what happens is people underestimate how powerful their vote is, and so you look at voter turnout, and I'm not going to do that today, but next time we'll maybe look at some numbers. But we got to get way above 80%, preferably to 90% turnout. And what happens then is as more humans show up and vote, this is just basic psychology here, people. As people show up and vote, statistically, you get more people in the middle. And it pushes out extremist positions on either side. Forget about what side is on what. Ask yourself, calm yourself, and ask yourself this question. Will this candidate support common sense gun safety? And if they won't, they're gone. And they all know what has to happen, but they're too chicken-hearted. They're too cowardly to do it. That's the predicament we're in. Yeah, let's talk about changing the Senate to make it more representational. Let's talk about it. But let's not wait for that to happen. Stay peaceful. We have to have a form of regular protest. Pressure is cumulative. In this sense, political pressure. The more we stick with it, the more they won't be able to escape it. So pick a spot in your neighborhood or in your city or in your town, preferably like a public park, maybe a downtown square. Pick a spot, make some, now remember, this isn't about attacking people. This is about saying to the senator specifically, you need to change, you need to agree to comprehensive gun safety right now or you're gone. Now some of you will be scared that it will anger the gun people, but I promise you there are more of you than there are of them. Because many gun owners want this. This isn't just, because I'm a liberal, but I have a gun. I like my gun. I'm not giving up my gun. More people want gun safety than don't. If you get past labels, Republican, Democratic labels, they're dumb labels. Please ignore them. I'm glad you got to see the butterfly show today. They don't usually come out this bright and happy, but today was a good day. Oh, and I forgot what else was I going to do. I think we got everything. There's extra stuff in, if you aren't sick of me talking already, and I'm kind of sick of me, you can read more in the descriptions. On the YouTube page, which I'm about to show you. So follow us on the YouTube page if you want. I didn't change anything, did I? This is the Brother Seamus Show. We're on YouTube. Just type in, I don't think that's the heading anymore. Let's see where that takes us. Right now we have 52 subscribers. We have a lot of videos, but I keep locking down the videos just because each video I make I think is a little tiny bit better than the last one. And I end up talking about the same stuff over and over, and I apologize, but that's what the Brother Seamus Show is. I don't really apologize. I'm just saying that to be, socially correct. I think I'm going to start calling people instead of waiting for people to call me. What do you think about that? Give me a call and let me know. I can't let go of the idea of a call-in variety type show, so I'm trying to mix a video, variety, musical, comedy, political rant kind of thing. There have to be good loops, though. That's the main thing. You have to be able to dance when you're watching this show. We'll do our homework, though. We're going to start mass voter mobilization. If you want to join us, please go to the Brother Seamus Show on YouTube. It looks just like this right now. This will get fancier, of course. This is really boring right now, but effective. And we're going to do some cool stuff, and we're going to share it here. Let's see if those videos uploaded yet. I really wanted to share. I had some special home movies to share with you, but they may not be done, and I may have to show you next time. Oh no, these are pictures of this and that, and oh yeah, here's the beginning of it, I think.
You calm down in there, okay?
Oh boy.
What are you doing?
So this is me finding a red squirrel in my house. I mean, I knew the red squirrel had been there all along. Let me pause this guy. And I wanted to just share this because I felt bad, but also good because I got little Red Squirrely to move out today. Red Squirrel was living in the Brother Seamus studios.
Okay. What are you doing?
This
What are
is
you doing, buddy?
earlier today, people. Dig it.
Hey. You are freaking the fuck out, aren't you? I'm sorry I had to catch you. I'm sorry. Are you going to calm down, or should we just get you outside? You look like you need to go outside right away. I'm sorry. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to try to fix my settings. I'm sorry.
I believe she's a she, and she was very upset that she was in this cage. It's the first time I've ever caught her because I've been waiting for the weather to turn.
Nothing personal. Bro, sis. He, she, they, them. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. You're a lovely red squirrel. How about we go for a bike ride? You want to go for a little bike ride? Did you knock the water over? I don't know if I should cover you up or leave you uncovered. I don't know what's scarier for you. I almost feel like covering you up might be a good idea. Let's try it. Let's try covering up and see what happens. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm just moving the camera that I'm going to use to hold my other camera. Alright, so this is red squirrel relocation. Take one. I'm afraid she's going to hurt her teeth on that. So I'm going to cover her up and see if that makes her calm down or if that makes things worse. Got some nice donated pink sweatshirts we're going to use. Okay, is that better or worse? Sounds better already.
It seemed like she calmed down immediately when I did that.
Sounds better already. How about that? Now you can't see me, but you can still hear me. All right,
those of
now
you
the
just
scary
joined.
part is we're going to go for a walk. No, let's do a bike ride. I think we should go for a bike ride.
This is from earlier today, people. If you're just joining us, this is the Brother Seamus Show, 509-676-6032. And now back to our regular programming.
I'm not sure if Andrew's coming over, so I'm going to try to check my... Well, I don't really want to edit. All right, here we go, buddy. I like that the cover makes you so safe. I like that. You're still running around in there like a nut. We're just going for a little bitty ride. Just set you right there for a minute.
That might be the end of part 1. Let's see. Oh, I tried to do a door slam edit here. Let's see if it worked. I missed on that one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Calm down in there, okay? What are you doing?
So that's Red Squirrel
What are
part
you doing,
1. You'll
buddy?
have to tune
Hey.
in. You'll have to tune in later, tomorrow maybe. We'll see. Probably Saturday. You'll have to tune in to see part 2, where little Red Squirrel gets her freedom. It's quite exciting. In the meantime, let's think about mass voter mobilization. We only need 10 people. We only need 10 votes. You feel me? We only need 10 votes. And you and you can do it, is what I was about to say. You can do it. You don't need to be tricked. Don't get yourself tricked by political parties. It's a lot of nonsense. Do you believe in gun safety? You can believe in the Second Amendment and gun safety. That'll be on the test, too. That's probably the most important piece. I think that what happens when we get tricked by emotional logic, I guess we'll call it, we get caught up in the idea that we can't, that it's one or the other. There's only two choices, and that's always a lie. It's always a lie. The choice is you can protect the Second Amendment and have excellent gun safety programs out there. So let's do it. We just got to flip 10 of these senators. Flip 3 of them, 2 more will fall. And when you got all 5, guess what? The rest are going to start chickening out. But it's going to take constant, widespread pressure. And we can do it. If you knew you could show up once a month for 2 hours and change the future of gun safety, would you do it? I would. If you want to buy a cool t-shirt like the one that I am wearing today, you can go to bonfire.com. How come that's not coming up? I want to share a bookmark with you. Why can't I? There we go. If you want to buy a cool t-shirt, get yourself on over to Humans for Democracy. Let me turn off that banner. And there you will find these lovely shirts that say, "Immigrants make great Americans." Because I believe that is true, and I hope you do too. You can get that shirt in many different colors and sizes, just like the one I'm wearing right now. Allow me to model. This could be yours. Orders fulfilled through bonfire.com. Just go to bonfire.com / and type in "Immigrants Make Great Americans." There's a link in the details for this video as well, so you could do that. There's many ways to get there. If you scroll down further, we've got a new kind in, newer, different styles and colors. How to be an anti-racist. It just says "be an anti-racist." Designed by yours truly. Let's go with the green. Is the green good or I think orange is a little better. Be an anti-racist. Bonfire.com takes care of all the ordering and delivering. Now we will be selling some handmade t-shirts soon, so stay tuned for that. Oh my God, we're at 58 minutes. This is overindulgent. I apologize, but that's kind of part of what the show's about. The Brother Seamus Show. Give us a call. Join our movement. We're coming to a town near you. Hopefully. All right. And Lagunitas, if you want to bring me on as a sponsor. I'm looking at it right now. I have 52 subscribers, people. This is Brother Seamus Show. 52. Lagunitas, you could be hitting 52 sets of eyeballs that you're currently not hitting. Just saying, Brother Seamus, I am an ordained minister and a licensed psychologist and a performer and whatever. Doesn't matter. I like doing some TikToks once in a while. You guys want to see a TikTok before we go? I do. Here's one right here. I gotta turn off the... I've never figured out how to make this go full screen on here. Oh, if I download it. There you go. I think I downloaded this one already. Let's check the downloads, people. Yes, I did. Look at that. All right, here we go. So this is a little video I put out on TikTok. It's a song about black, white, brown, unite. And we'll leave you with that, people. I know some of you won't like some of the messages in there about vaccines, but this is from a few months ago. We were hitting that a little bit harder. All right, people, there you have it. That is the Brother Seamus Show for today. Let's do a 20 millisecond fade.